Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 23rd of June with FLOSSTUBE number 229. Welcome back to my almost often, usually but not quite weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. I skipped last week. I'm going to that in a minute. I just needed a day off, weekend off. But yeah, I also kind of had nothing to show you anyway, so it was going to be like practically no stitching content, like, you know, one night's worth of bugger all on one project. So it just turned out to be a good week to skip. So I'm back with quite a bit of stuff today, so it's probably going to be a little bit of a longer one, which I know a bunch of you quite like. And yeah, quick little life recap. I'm wearing earrings today. I didn't get dressed specially for you, but I had my studs out because I wore these yesterday, and I thought I should just put them in. I picked these up from the Salvation Army store a couple of weekends ago. There was a big box of, I guess, either shop had gone out of business or, I don't know, they weren't all homemade beady ones. Anyway, I'm very fussy with earrings. These have not made my ears sore. So I was thinking, well, these are $3 little glass beads and they're really cute. And if I had to swap them out for some quality hooks, because my ears are super sensitive, but these haven't made, they're $3 and my ears haven't hurt. So I'm kind of wearing them just to see if, because there were a bunch of different ones I got. So if I needed to get like one set of hooks, I'd get like a dozen set of decent hooks. Anyway, I'm wearing earrings and they're dangly. Random, eh? Anyway, can't complain for $3, that's for sure. So the last few weeks have been kind of intense at work. Just a lot of stuff going on. Like this, you know, just about everyone who's going is gone from the fiscal restructure, and there's just me who's still got to go at the end of October at this stage. I raised a risk against my project that me and a couple of other people, all of our contracts or our jobs end before the end of the project, which seems a bit random. I'm not sure why that is. And you know, there's a good likelihood 1, 2 or 3 of us will leave before the end of the project. So it's a bit awkward, sort of raising a risk where the mitigation might be keep me on for another couple of months and a couple of others. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I felt very, very awkward, but there's also some kind of politicky stuff a couple of layers ahead of me, and in my opinion, some of those people aren't playing nicely, and they're kind of passive aggressive, dealing with that friction by making life shit for some of the rest of us. I did have my first careers transition meeting with this company that my work hires to transition people out of the organisation. Probably like 4 or 5 meetings to be had over a couple of months. This was sort of a meet and greet, gave them my CV, and I think we met in a couple of weeks. I said, can we just get through financial year end? Our financial year end is 30 June for work, and also I've got some Microsoft training to go on. It's just like, can we just get through that? I had reached out to him originally and said, can we kick all of this off in July? And he goes, sure, let's meet this week. It's like, still June, but anyway. So doing like kind of CV, LinkedIn profile review and all that in a couple of weeks, and then from there there'll be a bunch of coaching, and I don't really know, it is what it is. So but yeah, July focusing on getting my CV and my LinkedIn profile and all that kind of, getting all that kind of spruced up and modernized and fresh, and you know, probably come August I'll pay for like LinkedIn Premium for a few months and just go refresh my network and reach out to all the people that I've ever met. But, because, you know, a good lot of jobs come through kind of word of mouth and knowing people. So we'll start doing that in August. Basically, I'm going to make myself available for work from August, as in by the time you do like kind of that 2 to 4 weeks kind of hiring process and then give formal notice, I can leave any time after like the 3rd of October and still get my severance. So, and I don't actually have time to do any of this because I'm super busy on my project, but that's what's happening there. But anyway, I'm hating it, hating the energy, If I could take a month off, I would, but can't afford to, so that is what it is. So at the end of the week before last, I had one of these meetings, and it was just come out of there, and I was sort of talking. So we're talking like at, after 5 p.m. on a Friday, just about everyone's left. It's me, my project coordinator, and my boss, who's also the business owner on my project. And we were just like talking through some stuff that came out of that meeting, how it was sort of awkward, and how do we like deal with some of the actions that were put on us, that were really our responsibility and all that sort of stuff. And I had 3 missed calls from my sister, and my poor sister, anyway, she was, I'll start the preface with my brother-in-law was fine. However, at that moment in time, we didn't know he was fine. He'd been in a huge car accident, and it was like 6 minutes from home. A young driver of a stolen car with a couple of young girls in the back, like, teenagers or what have you, had been going very, very fast and hit him, and nearly hit another car with a lady and a couple of kids in it, and blah, 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 blah. At the time when I was talking to my sister, she was waiting at the hospital. They were triaging him. She wasn't able to get in to see him yet, although she had seen him at the crash site because it's 6 minutes from her home. But she said he was sort of, struggling to breathe and had a lot of pain, but it was probably like a combination of shock, seatbelt, all that sort of stuff. So fast forward to much later in the evening, they were pretty confident that he had no serious injuries. It was all sort of bruising and, that kind of whiplashy sort of stuff. So he was released, but at the time, we're like, she's like, the car's totaled, he can't breathe properly, he kind of got out of the car and kind of collapsed, but again, shock and stuff, had a headache, couldn't remember what had happened. But yeah, fast forward, the police arrested the young person, and so there was no issues with insurance. They were all like, obviously this other guy's at fault. The other lady had followed him, and she'd rang the police to see where his car ended up, because it wasn't driving. Ugh, it was all just a thing. And then I'm like, so I rang my dad to tell him and said, look, Megan doesn't know anything yet, but we think he's fine, but don't know. It's just, we'll let you know kind of thing. And then I got a message from a friend to tell me that she'd been diagnosed with breast cancer, and luckily it looks like it's super early and super treatable and super good prognosis and all that. So we just got to support her to get through it. And but it was just too much, man. I just felt like my brain was fried. I just said, look, I have to go home. I can't do this anymore. It's too hard. Just trying to be there for other people, and just on top of 4 years of worrying about dad and trying to find a job, and I just sort of had a bit of a mini meltdown. Not really a meltdown, but I just needed to unplug my brain from the matrix or something. So I went home, did all the thing, had an early dinner, had an early night. Saturday morning I woke up, and so at this stage as well, it'd been a really long week, long hours. I hadn't done any, we'd had the vendor in town, so we'd been out on the Thursday night, hadn't done really much stitching. And then I went to bed, woke up on Saturday morning, I thought, nah, just not going to do it. I'm not going to do Saturday. So I got up, went to the loo and stuff, had a cup of tea, went back to bed, read a book, got up about 2 o'clock, had a shower, had some lunch, and thought, fuck it, go back to bed. Went back to bed, read another book. It did mean I was awake from about midnight till 4 in the morning, but and then just come Sunday, I felt heaps better. Mentally I felt heaps better, but by Sunday, then I had to do all the normal kind of stuff, right? I had 4 loads of laundry. I'd done no laundry all week. I had pretty much every item in my house. So, 2 loads of towels and a load of sheets and a load of blacks and a load of whites and a load of randoms. So sort of 5 or 6 loads of laundry. It was just a lot. Part of it is, for me to be able to support other people, I need to look after myself first. And I think I just had my brain just fried. So everything's fine. As fine as it can be, given that sometimes life just deals some really fucking shit cards and just got to play your hand. So I just literally just unplugged for a day, and it was fantastic. It was great. It's just what I needed. I just stayed in bed, read didn't even napped a little bit, had cups of tea, and just looked after myself, looked after my mental health really. So I just didn't have any content for you last week. And otherwise, Dad's doing pretty good, considering, again, his issues at the moment are more mechanical, his osteoarthritis and stuff. But he's just taking it easy. I think my sister gonna get a new car. Well, the car got written off like 2 years, 1 week and 3 days or something from when they'd purchased it. It was a new car, and their insurance cut off for replacing with new after a write-off was 2 years. They missed it by like 1 week and 3 days. Anyway, so they have actually bought a new car. They're just sort of they've downsized. So with the kind of indemnity value they got or the market value they got for the car, they just didn't quite get the same car, but it's fine. It's a freaking car. It's a new car. Most new cars are great these days. So they're getting that this week, I think. And yeah, brother-in-law, he was super sore for a few days and like in his ribs and stuff. So, but he's doing okay. So yay, thank freaking goodness for that, because that was just it's a scary phone call to get, right? That's kind of the lifey stuff. So I'm just going to look at my notes. Yep, so let's move into transition into stitching stuff. I have a little bit to show you. I've got a few little new things. Did a little bit of stress shopping. I did limit myself a little bit, but I do have some more coming. So there'll be some more next week, which was a little bit expensive, but I've hardly bought anything all year. You know what fits every single time? Silk thread. One size fits all. You never have to worry about the silk thread fitting. Anyway, I did a little bit of shopping, but it was just one of those things where I just felt like I wanted some pretty things. What's new? Okay, first of all, just part 4 of my Halloween cross stitch ball from XJu Designs. Again, if you buy it in the parts, it's $5 New Zealand per month for 6 months of Etsy. So you buy them individual parts. If you buy them as part of the sale, you get a free design each month, an extra ornament design. If you wait and buy it as a pack at the end, it'll probably be, it won't be a $5 pack. You'll get everything, but you won't get the free design. So I'll just show you what this month's designs are. So that's the octagon, the hexagon, the 2 little squares, and that's the bonus ornament. And you can swap, it's the same size as the hexagons. You can swap the bonus ornaments out for any of the hexagons if you don't like them, or if you prefer. I love all these sort of spooky designs. They're like they're all spooky because it's Halloween. I don't really do Halloween, not really a Halloween person, but I like the graveyard, and like they're more gothic, you know. Where does Halloween end and gothic begin? I don't know. I did pick this up to start stitching on it this last week, and then I decided I needed to buy a floss. So I was trying to use Stitch from Stash, because there's a couple of specialty flosses, some of the variegated DMC. Oh, it's hot. It's been a cold, rainy day, and now the sun's come out and now I'm melting. And there's a couple of weeks dye works, and I have been using just substituting from my stash, but there is one that I started stitching, the witchy hat with the moon from last month, and the grey that I had substituted for one of the weeks, it wasn't high enough contrast, and I couldn't find anything on my stash. So I needed to put through a small order from from Ribbon Rose in Auckland. Well, I didn't have to put it through there, but I wanted some Verissoir Soie d'Alger, so I wanted to get another of the white flosses for my autumn, colours of autumn, because I know I'm going to run out. I need one, and I needed a couple of weeks. They have it, and then I needed to order some beads for another project that I'm going to do in August. I'm going to go to a little mini workshop with some friends to learn how to do peyote stitch. So I have ordered a bunch of beads for us to share. I have some delicate beads. So blah, 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 blah. that order's still on its way. It'll come next week. So I haven't really progressed much on this because I wanted that week's. But anyway, I bought that. So it's so cute. I'm really looking forward to doing that one. And then I had ordered some blue fat 8s of linen from Country Stitch, and they came in last week. I think that was my sneaky photo. Where are they? What am I doing with them? Okay. And I wasn't sure which blue I wanted for which project, so I just picked 4 blues and I've matched them up. 3 to projects, and one of them is probably a bit light for the other project, so I'll just leave it for something else. So I ordered some fabrics that I could use for Spring House. This chart I bought earlier in the year. Hello from Liz Matthews. And I've charted it, so it's 2 different fabrics. You can stitch them together. I think the way this was finished, they just stitched them separately and mounted them separately around some board and squished them up in the frame. I don't know which way I'll do it yet. I'll worry about that later. But for the blue, I've got, these are both 35 count Edinburgh linen, Coastal Ice, and then for the pale blue, Alpine Spring, both from Country Stitch. This is what they'll look like together. And let's try and do the ratio similar to the page. And so they're not the same, but the kind of contrast will be the same. So excited about that. This is charted for DMC. I'll just stitch in DMC. I don't know when I'll start it, but given it's DMC and it won't use that much thread, I'm like, I consider that kit it up, because I'd probably just grab my DMC boxes and not worry about like pulling DMC per se. So those are 2 of the fabrics, and then one of them I've put aside for this kit that a friend, my neighbour Sandy, gave to me. I'm not even sure if it was last year or the year before, when she went away to Scotland on holiday, and she gave me this wee kit. So this is from Heritage Hebrides. Is that what it says? No, Historic Hebrides. Just make stuff up when you read backwards. Kissimmee Castle from Castle Bay. Now it's a full-on kit with anchor floss and 14 count Aida. I'm gonna swap out the fabric for 35 count, so I'm gonna go down to 1 strand instead of using 2. There's a little tiny bit of back stitch, but I'm fine back stitching on 35 count over 1 strand crosses. So I've got Glacier. So the colour is a little, that's, you know, just the standard Swigart blue 14 count Aida. Mine's a little tiny bit more aqua. I'll open it, shall I? But I prefer stitching it on linen. There is some kind of quarter stitches with some of the little, like there's some little quarter, 3/4 stitches just for some shaping and around little houses. And they, so, you know, more fun than splitting the thread is using linen. And also I just wanted something a little bit more mottily, softer. And I think once you open that up, you know, it's not like, when you look at the fabric in the plastic bag, because it's like 6 layers, that kind of density changes the colour. But it's a similar kind of depth of colour. Like you hold it back, it looks kind of similar, but of course this is more movement in it, and it's linen, and yay. So swapped that out. I'll probably just shove that on the freebie table at retreat. So I've got a Hutt Valley retreat in August, early August. I'm so excited. I'm less excited about the retreat because, to be fair, I get more stitching done at home sitting on my ass on the couch. But, you know, spending time with people and friends and talking bullshit about stitching really is kind of cool. So, quite excited about that. Don't know when I'll start it, but now that I have the linen, I can start it anytime I like. So, and I think it'll look really pretty with that. I don't think it'll look this dark. Like, this is a bit of a dark photo, I think. Not sure if I'll write the name on. We'll see. It would be the last thing I do. That was the 3rd piece of blue. blue. It's very kiwi. And then I got, because I didn't know which shade of blue I wanted to use for those two, I always got this one. It's too light for the butterfly garden. I forgot that's why I wanted a blue, but this one is called Blue Ice, also 35 count, so it's a fat 8. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, if you see the writing, I think that Catherine put the wrong labels on because those look rather like fat quarter sizes, but they're definitely fat 8s. Just used the wrong sticker. And that's just a really soft, very soft, pretty blue, so that's in the stash for now. And then if I had done my video last week, you would have seen these as well. My SILKS4U Silks of the Month May 2004 came in, and these are just lovely. I probably have colours very similar to it, but they're so nice. They came in as well, and I do enjoy getting that little bit of colour every month. It brings me some joy. And then also the other week, Art and Frame, so down in Christchurch, they had a bit of a sale on some of their over-dyed linen, and they had Fibre on a Whim, which they typically sell fat quarters for $70. They had some on sale for $40. That's a fantastic price. I couldn't say no, so I just grabbed a couple of 32 count. I don't have a lot of 32 count like samplery fabrics because I do tend to go 36 or 40 count when I do my samplers, but for $40, you know, and even if they ended up being, you know, I've got a number of these would be great for a whole bunch of blackbirds. I've got several blackbird books. Often their samplers, they chart them on 30 count fabric. What's that, like, I think R&R, which, you know, good luck getting that. So 32 count, you know, could be brave and stitch. When I say brave, we all like one strand. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know what I'm saying. Who cares? You think I've never done a video before, so like 230 odd. Parchment and oatmeal, and they're super similar. One is just slightly goldier, one is slightly less goldier. All of those words in the dictionary, and that's what I could come up with. So they were just no particular purchase, but I have, as I said, 5 or 6 blackbird books with various samplers, and I could probably squeeze 2 or 3 projects from a range of those books onto these because these colours are very blackbirdy. Then also Karen, lovely Karen from Art and Frame, threw this in for me, which was really nice. So that was just a little Rendale keyring that they sell a lot of Rendale stuff, so she popped that into the package when she sent me my linen, so I appreciate that. And then still more, like it's getting smaller and smaller. I talked last week about well, whenever I did my last video, about the fact that on the Halloween ball, Cherry had, on the spiderwebby section, she had popped a little spider, and I was like, I need a spider charm. So I just said, if anyone has a spider charm, let me know. And a few people did, thank you. And then Catherine just kindly, so I've got a couple of spider charms now, so I'm gonna have to choose. However, I've got another project that needs a spider charm. I haven't stitched it yet. So one of these is probably going to go into that one. And I don't know which one yet because they're both adorable and different. Catherine very kindly popped this wee spider charm in my package with my linen. And it is beautiful, shiny and black and very realistic looking. And it's sort of like, I'm just covering. So you thread it up through its backside, out through its face. They have faces, and it's, oh, I love it. It's, I mean, I'm so glad this is not real. Oh, if you've got a spider photo, I'm sorry. It's, if you just glance at that, it looks so real that I'd probably squeal a little bit, go, ah, and then smash it with a shoe or something, but anyway. But then also the lovely Cherry Parker, she popped a bunch of, she let me know she's going to pop a bunch of little charms in. And this is similar or the same as the spider that she used on her design. It's that one. And isn't she lovely? I can't wait to meet you, Cherry. I believe you're coming to the retreat in Lower Hutt, which is going to be so fun. And then she also put a bunch of just other random little Halloween-y sort of charms in there. The little black bats are absolutely adorable. And there's a black cat. I'm not going to open it up. A few witches. I've had one of those witches before. Got a little kit from Stitch Witches, and a few little bats and a couple of wee ghosties, and just, yeah, some of them may end up being on the ball as well. So thank you so much for the generosity of the community. Is amazing, and I am very blessed to have met so many people, and given that, like, you know, in pre my video, I just stitched on my own and I didn't know anybody. Cool, and I'll show you next week when it arrives, but I did decide, bugger it, I've ordered the NPIs for this. I've ordered them from that crafty Kiwi, Helen. She's a local lass with an online store, and I just decided I'm going to treat myself, and I've ordered the NPIs. They're super expensive because they're, you know, it's got like 13 and then $9 each, so you can do maths. But I've never, I'm gonna lie if I say I've never kitted up a project with silk that called for, because I have my Jordan Threads, Gardens, and Alexander's of Linrathan, which I haven't started. All these ones I haven't started. I've done one Jordan Thread, but I've never, anyway, I just love it so much. But the other reason that I decided to kit it up with the silks, first, Helen announced that she was going to be stocking them and selling them, so I want to support her. And also, I had dyed some fabric for this, and then I mentioned that the called for was 40 count Thornfield from Needle and Flax, and then my lovely friend Judith had a weird piece, which is enough fabric. It's a weird long piece that she picked up from somewhere when she was in the States, so it's this weird off-cutty bit, but it is, that much is enough. And that's the called for fabric. So I thought, well, again, I very rarely stitch things with all the called for, because, you know, I'm all for just making things work, but because I have the fabric, I decided. And also, I'm going to start this soon. I'm going to start this at the Hutt Valley retreat. I don't usually start 40 count fabrics away from home because, you know, but I'll take a light, because a few of my friends are going to be there, and they're going to be starting or stitching on that's that pink house, that Christmassy pink house one. It's not called Pink House, but it's called I don't even remember. It's this one. I'm going to put a picture in. I don't want to stitch that because I don't want to stitch Pink House or Christmassy kind of snowy whatever. But I decided, well, I'll just start my own. It's kind of pinkish. It's terracotta-y, reddy, weird colour. What do they describe it as? Berry red. So I'm going to start my own freaking house and stitch along with them, even though it's a completely different house and a completely different designer. Kathy Barrick. One day I'll probably stitch that. I didn't even, oh no, I only ordered that has some different colours in it. I only ordered the threads for the house, and if I stitch that one later on, I'll either sub out the couple of colours that I don't have, or I think it's like the skin colours, because, you know, she's got a face and the house doesn't have a face. So anyway, that's going to be a start at Hutt Valley Retreat. Hutt Valley, so Hutt Valley, for people who don't know, is sort of the general area that includes the Lower Hutt and Upper Hutt. We're both on the Hutt. I'm in Upper Hutt, so we go Wellington, and then you got Lower Hutt, then Upper Hutt, and Lower Hutt and Upper Hutt are in a valley, hence the name the Hutt Valley, and we sit alongside the Hutt Valley River. Is it the Hutt River? It's called the Hutt River. It's named after some dude, Hutt. I don't even really care why it's called the Hutt, but so the Hutt Valley Retreat is in Lower Hutt, and it's organised by Nicole from North Island Stitcher, FLOSSTUBE. She's probably too busy organising a retreat to do a FLOSSTUBE. And Nara also has had a couple of FLOSSTUBEs, but I can't remember her name, and she's done one for a while. And Kat has a FLOSSTUBE called Kat Stitch, I think, Katt. Anyway, those ladies are organising the Hutt Valley Retreat. It is in early August, like the 7th or 8th maybe. I don't remember what day it is, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm very excited to see a few friends, and that's going to be my retreat start. And my silks will arrive next week, and I will show you my $1 million worth of silks because, you know, very extravagant. I do have some stitching to show you. I've got 3 projects. I'll show you one more thing since we're showing you all the stuff that I haven't stitched on yet. I'm going to have a start next weekend as well. So next weekend, we've got Friday off. Yeah, it's only a 4-day week. Think expletive, because I just don't think I could do a 5-day week. And on Friday's my Frederika, so public holiday for the majority of people. Yay. And then on Saturday, we've got our quarterly Wellington Stitchy meetup, because it's a 5th Saturday, and that's when we have them, in Johnsonville. And just again excited to meet up with friends. And Anne and I are going to do a new start, and we've had this for a while. We bought these ages ago. So a local designer, Kiwi designer, Ellie Jenks, she makes these. She has a bunch of different designs, but she's kind of mostly does canvas work. And she's got a bunch of these 3D designs. I'm not even sure if this is one I'm starting. No, I'm not starting that one. I'm starting this one, the Needlecraft Shop. I bought 2. I'd like to stitch all of them eventually when I'm 147. And Anne's going to start either the bookshop or the library, I'm not sure, and then we're going to eventually swap the charts. So I'm going to start the Needlecraft Shop. So she does these 3D stuffed houses, buildings, and she's got a whole, the Bright Sea Village. Had it here for ages. So I've got a big wad of 18 count interlock canvas, and I just bought a metre by metre. I don't need a metre by a metre. I need about just under half a metre. So in theory, I could probably get 4 buildings out of this one. So I have to chop it up yet. So she says you need 450 millimetres by 450 millimetres. I have photocopied the chart because the chart's pretty little, and because I'm extra, I taped it all together. So this, I blew it up. I blew it up like, you know, to print it A4 paper onto A3, so 140% or whatever it is. So this is bigger than it will be because I made it bigger. And there's a whole bunch of detail. I'm going to show you a little bit of it. A whole bunch of detail like your back stitching and stuff. But I figure, so you sort of stitch, how do you stitch it? You stitch one big log panel. So you sort of stitch the roof and 2 of the sides. And then you stitch 2 side panels, then you stitch it all together. I haven't even looked at the finishing instructions. I figure that I have a little bit of stitching to do before I have to worry about finishing it. The main thing is that you just stitch it all together, and I don't enjoy stitching little pieces when a chart goes over, so I prefer to visualize the whole thing. I'm going to start that. Who knows when it will be finished? Do I need another project? No, but I'm going to start it, and it's a little bit different. So I'm excited about that. I'll fold that huge piece of paper up later. I did actually photocopy both of the charts, and a reminded ad, don't forget to copy your chart. You will need to do that because it's little, and it'll be also, we want to swap them and keep the paper in, you know, pristine kind of condition. There's lots of folds in it, so yeah, excited about that, to see how that comes along. Okay, so shall I show you what I've been stitching on? I've stitched on 3 projects, mostly this week, hardly any the week before. So I did pick up, as I said, I sort of started stitching on one of the pieces for the Halloween ball, but it's not enough to show you. I don't show things when there's only a little bit of stitching because I can't be bothered ironing it and I've already put it away. So I picked up my Under the Red Blues by Isabelle Vautier. I started this in July because someone pointed out I didn't have a red sampler on the go. I'm like, you're right, must start it. So I grabbed this out of my retirement savings, which for those of you who haven't been here for a while, or ever, retirement savings is a large carton I have in one of my cupboards, and when I kit things up I put them in there, so I have at any one time between 30 and 40 things I could start. And I call that retirement savings because the idea being, oh well, I have plenty for my retirement, but I pull from there all the time. But I'm often kitting things up. I have slowed down this last year, but it's still turning over a little bit. So, Under the Red Blues by Isabelle Vautier on 40 count Kauri linen from Country Stitch. Again, if you haven't been around before, or if you're not from New Zealand, Country Stitch, Catherine from Country Stitch, a local Wellington based dyer of lovely cross stitch fabrics, and probably 2/3 of my projects are on Country Stitch fabric. She has a fantastic range of colours. You can join a monthly club, get a bit of a discount. She'll work with you to do a custom dye if you need. She also will do custom pieces, so if you need a really weird shape, you can have a conversation with her about it. Within reason, she can probably accommodate. She can dye on all sorts of counts of everything, and also she does stock a whole lot of other lovely things as well. So aren't on her website, but if you are local and you want to get weeks or classic colourworks or gentle arts, plus she has the entire rainbow gallery range, so all the petite treasure braids. She stocks Mill Hill beads, and she has a bunch of charts as well. She has Bella Filipina and Victoria's sampler, and she'll order stuff as well. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I do talk about Country Stitch a lot. She's wonderful. And also, she's going to be at the retreat, I think. So, yay. Gentle Art Claret. I bought like 7 skeins. I think it'll be enough. I've used 2.5, and I'm probably about a quarter of the way. So, that's getting close to not being quite enough, but we'll make it work. The light's just gone, the sun's gone again. Huge big long sampler, so this is half the fabric, and yeah, I'm just shy of a quarter. So since you last saw it, I stitched all of this band, so their little village scene, and so basically this border repeats all the way up, so each time I stitch a band, I stitch the 2 bits of border as well, because that border is super repetitive, and if you stitch it all at once, you'd probably go insane. So yeah, that bit's new, and then all of the village scene. And it's so pretty. I love it. I think my goal is to get about halfway on this year. We'll see how we go. Next up will be either a small band, which is kind of this lacy band here, or I'll consider it a large band and include the Bienvenue welcome. And yeah, where's halfway? About there. And then I had a look through my bag, picked something, I had it stitched on for a little while. Prairie Moon, the red and the black too. So this is a PDF. I bought it when they restarted selling their designs again. They are super overpriced, but the red and the black one, the red and black two were charts I had missed when I hadn't been stitching, and then Prairie Moon stopped trading. Their charts became ridiculously overpriced. Then they started trading again, selling PDFs. So just of their old existing designs, and I just love these gothic style designs. So I stitched the red and the black one in 2020. I hope to get this one finished this year. It is on, like the other one, number one is also on 36 count grandpa's sleeve by XJu Designs, but I am using, I'm using SILKS4U PR070, which is the black. I also use that for the red and the black one, but I swapped out the thread. I am using a different shade of red from Victoria Motto Sampler Shop. I used to be a subscriber of theirs back when they had subscriptions. And I'm using Scrumptious Red for this one, and again started this one last year in September as part of my stash sampler starts that I did along with Narissa from Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle on YouTube. And here it is in its entirety. I don't need all of this fabric. That's like a third. There's another third to go. I'll have a nice piece for something else. And since you last saw it, this whole centerpiece is new, and I've just done the border there and that little bit in there. So this is a repeat of these two. Do that next time. And then I've got the third kind of block above, and then the alphabet at the top. The alphabets are pretty quick, so this is probably the bit that has the most stitching in it, and it is lovely. I left a little gap down here. That's where I'll date it. I just left some stitching out because there's nowhere else to put a date. So it'll probably be hopefully 2024. We shall see. And I do love it. It's just such a lovely design. So I'm really pleased with a little bit of progress on that. Hadn't pulled that out for a little while, so yay. And then last night, yesterday afternoon when I got back from visiting with friends, I had been reminded I hadn't given Frederika any love for a little while, and just realised I got the wrong date on here. Apparently I started this in the future. We'll just change the year. I think Zeb was selling a duplicate copy of Frederika on our local, one of our local Facebook groups. And I'm like, oh, I should get her out. So Frederika is the other half to Frederick. I have already stitched Frederick back in 2022. So from Carriage House Samplings. And I started Frederika in December because I realised I didn't have a fractor on the go. I do like my fractor birds. We've got a bunch of them, different designers on different lovely fabrics, mostly from Country Stitch. And this is no different. So like her other half, Frederika is being stitched on 40 count drifting sands from Country Stitch linen using the called for DMC, although I did fudge the border a little bit where I got some of the little lozenges in the wrong order, but you know, it wasn't like I tried, I just picked up the wrong thread. And here is Frederika. So I stitched a little bit on her this morning as well. Like it's now 12:30 in the afternoon. So since you last saw it, most of what is inside the frame is new. I had already stitched her little hillocky thing, and I had stitched that same colour as in the pattern in her tail, but everything else I've stitched everything else has been added yesterday or today. So last night I filled in her tail, and I got her outlined in that colour, the dark brown, and then I started on the kind of, well, it's grey, but the greenery in here and around that, and then that squirrel is the same. And then this morning I finished these 3 strawberries, fill in the leaves, that's then added that same caramelly stalky bit up there. That same colour is in the leaves in here, and that colour there, and filled in there. So just kind of not fully colour completing, but this colour, you know, was in that little key, and that little heart, and those leaves, filling in one of those leaves. So just, you know, within reason did that. So yeah, got quite a bit done on her, and I'm really pleased with it. So that is all of my stitching. So it was quite nice to have a pretty good stitching week, even though it was sort of a really shit work week. There was no other drama, which was nice. And I have been a really good girl this weekend. I have folded laundry as I've done it, rather than leaving it to fold 6 loads of laundry all at once. And I did my sheets yesterday, a day early, so I got them on the bed yesterday, so I don't have to do that tonight. I usually do my sheets on Sunday, and I just did them early. So I feel excited that I only have maybe 2 loads of laundry to fold today. Dishwasher's already been on. My HelloFresh box has arrived. I'm going to do some cooking. I'll pick one of my HelloFresh recipes, and I'm going to make that for lunches. Like, there's a couscousy vegetable thingy, so I might do that because that's quite nice. I quite like couscous cold, so I might have that for lunch. And I'm going to cook something up for dinner. I think I've got like a chicken thing. So I've got that organised. I'm finding I've just got to super get myself organised on Sunday. So I'm not buying lunches. I'm just getting, you know, avoiding takeaways, just trying to eat a bit better and look after myself, because, yeah, I'm been a bit sort of scattered. It's quite a long one today. I'm sure some of you will appreciate that. I don't actually have that much to cut out. I want to thank you all for your support and hope you enjoy this video. I will be looking forward to giving you an update on my new start next week. And happy Matariki for everyone who's going to be able to have the Friday off coming up. So take care. I will see you all next week. As always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.